So in this episode then, we're going to be building a 5x5 disco floor, and you can see in the background now what we'll be building this episode. So for the actual build then, you will need a space of 11 blocks by 22, and you also need to make sure you've got 8 blocks in depth. You can condense this to a slightly smaller space, but for this tutorial we have made it this width. So we'll jump straight into it, and all we're going to do to begin with is we're going to place a 3x3 space with our iron blocks, making sure to leave out the front centre space. And you can build this out of any material, but we're going to be using our iron for this. Once you've done this, we're going to place our redstone torches on top. Then in front of this, we're going to place 3 redstone repeaters. And then you just want to place 2 redstone repeaters on each side. And 1 across the centre block at the back to finish off. Next then, we're going to adjust our timings for the repeaters. So for our front centre one then, we're just going to have it at 3 ticks. And for the front right one, we're going to have it on 4 ticks. And the left one, you just want to leave it as it is. Then on the left hand side, we're going to have our front one on 2 ticks. And the back one on 3 ticks. Once you've done this, we're going to come over to the right hand side. And the front one, we're going to have it on 4 ticks. Whereas the back one, we're just going to leave it as it is. And the last repeater at the back, we're just going to have it on 2 ticks. Once you've done that then, we're just going to place 3 redstone across the front 2 repeaters, and then 1 in the centre as well in front of that. Then on either side the 3 we just placed, we're just going to place another 2 pieces of redstone. And on either corner, we're just going to extend it forwards another 4 blocks. So on the left hand side, you just want to extend it out 2 blocks, and then we're just going to place 3 blocks across. So that's the bottom section of redstone done, and we're just going to place our second layer on top of this now. So for this, you just want to place a 3x3 space on top of the 3x3 space we had beneath this, but you want to make sure you fill in the centre block as well. On top of the iron that we just placed, we're going to place our redstone torches in the same pattern we had last time. So the torches should go off, and if they haven't gone off, that means you've placed it on the wrong block. So the only one that should be left is the front center one, which we're going to leave as it is for now. Then around the whole of the outside, we're going to be placing 3 additional rows. So you just want to again go around the whole of the edge and place an additional 3 rows. So you can see there we've placed all of our 3 rows. And now we're just going to add a row of iron around the torches that we've placed. So now we're just going to add a row of iron around the torches that we've just placed. So to begin this, you just want to place 1 iron block in the centre, and then diagonal to that, we're just going to place an iron block on either side. Then next to the 2 blocks we just placed diagonal, we're just going to place 4 blocks of iron on either side. Again, for this you don't necessarily have to use iron, as you can use any material you like. Then to finish off, we're just going to place a row of iron across the back. And now we're just going to place torches on all of the iron blocks that we just placed. So same as before, we're going to place our repeaters around now. So you just want to place 1 in the front block there, and then we're just going to place 2 on either side diagonal to this. Then on the sides, missing out the first block, we're just going to place an additional 4 repeaters. So same on the other side now. And across the back, we're just going to place 3 repeaters across the centre blocks. And now we're just going to place 1 last additional repeater, and you just want to place it 1 block behind the far block of iron. Once you've done this, we can start on placing our redstone around. So you just want to place 1 block in the centre to start with, then we're just going to place a row of redstone across the whole of the back row of iron blocks. Next then, we're just going to place an additional 6 blocks of redstone on either side. So it should finish in line with the last repeater. Then we're just going to place 6 more blocks of redstone across the back row of iron. So you just want to start it from the left block and count 6 blocks across, and that will finish off our redstone for this layer. Next then, we're just going to set our timings for the repeaters. And for the front center one then, we're just going to start off by having it at 3 ticks. And the far left one, we're going to have it on 4 ticks. And the one next to that, we're just going to leave it as it is. Then on the other side, we're just going to start with the far right one and have it on 2 ticks. And then the one next to that, we're just going to have it on 3 ticks. On the right hand side then, we're just going to start off by setting the front one to 2 ticks. And the one behind that, we're just going to leave as it is. And the third one, you just want to set to 4 ticks. And that finishes off that side, as the fourth one again is going to be left as it is. Then on the left hand side, we're just going to start with having the first one at 4 ticks. Behind that, we're going to have the same, and on the third one is the last one we're going to change to 4 ticks again. We're also going to have the one at the back exactly the same as it is at the moment. So we're just going to test it out so you can see there's a slight delay between the repeaters. The next thing we're going to be doing is we're just going to be placing our iron blocks on top of the lower section of our redstone torches. And you just want to place your redstone torches directly on the iron blocks we just placed. Then we're going to be placing a row of iron on the outside row of redstone torches. Once you've done that, you can place your redstone torches on top of this layer as well. Then in the space we've got remaining, we're just going to place one block diagonal towards us. And you want to place a redstone torch on the back of the block we just placed. Diagonal to the block of iron we just placed then, we're just going to place another iron block. And you just want to place one more block behind that. Then on the front of the 2 blocks, we're just going to place a repeater, and behind that we're just going to place a torch to test it out. So you can see there the torch does go off. So we can remove our torch, and at the back we're just going to place an additional 4 blocks, so it's 5 blocks in length overall. And on the far right block, we're just going to place stairs going down from it. Now that we've placed our iron blocks going down, we can place our redstone on top of all the blocks we just placed. Next then, we're just going to extend the redstone on the bottom layer. So from the centre then, we're just going to place one repeater, and then you just want to place an additional 6 blocks of redstone. So it should finish directly in line with the redstone we've already placed. The next thing we'll be doing then is we're going to be placing 4 iron blocks from the centre. And then on the last block, we're just going to place 3 iron blocks going across so it connects up with the staircase we've got at the moment. Once you've done this then, we're just going to place a repeater on the front block, and behind this you just want to place your redstone. And at the bottom of the diagonal staircase of iron, we're just going to place 1 repeater. And from this repeater, we're just going to count 4 blocks back. And on the 4th block, we're just going to go 1 block away and place a sticky piston. Then in front of this, you just want to place 1 more block. And you also want to place 1 block behind that as well. Then we're just going to place our redstone torch underneath the iron block. And on the right hand side of the iron block there, we're just going to place 1 piece of redstone. And in front of that, you're just going to place a repeater and then another piece of redstone. So to set the delay then, you can adjust this, but we're going to have it on 4 ticks just to slow it down. There you go, so you can see the output has changed for the outer layer of torches. And now we're just going to connect up the lower section of torches. So to start this section off then, we're just going to place 1 repeater. And diagonal to this repeater, you just want to place 1 more repeater on the right hand side. In front of the left hand repeater then, we're just going to place 1 redstone, and then you just want to place 3 redstone on the side of that. And to finish off the lower section, we're just going to count 4 blocks back, and on the 4th block you just want to place 1 last repeater. So you can see it's alternating on the right hand side, but we still need a power source for the left hand side. So for this, we're just going to place 1 torch, and you just want to place a repeater in front. And you can see there that all the torches are alternating, so that means we can place our floor on top now. For the bottom section then, we're just going to place our redstone lamps, but you don't actually need to use redstone lamps for this section, you can use any block, but the layer on top you obviously need to use your redstone lamps for the floor. And on top of this now, we're just going to place a 5x5 space with our redstone lamps. And that's the outer layer place. So now just placing a block on top of the inner layer. So you can see it's all connected up well, and we can just stick a layer around the floor just so you can see how we would place the floor in it. And there you go, so you can see we placed our floor around now, and we're just going to leave it there for this tutorial.